unfortunately, retirement planning can get fairly complicated really quickly. You can easily go from analyzing 20 different factors to 100 to well over 1,000 if you're not careful. But you know what? I've been a fee-only financial advisor for over 20 years, and these are the three most important factors that we all need to look at as we're preparing for retirement. Let's go for a walk and I'll share them with you. Okay, so the factors are your wallet, your heart, and your head. Those are the three most important factors. And let's jump in and talk about the first one, your wallet, right? Obviously, that talks about how much. How much do you need in order to be able to retire? What is that? But you know, the factors that really drive it, like well over 80% of your success as an investor, the success of your retirement accounts, is going to be based on your what's called asset allocation. How much your portfolio is exposed to stocks and equities, exchange traded funds, stuff like that. And high level, how much your portfolio is dedicated to short duration, high quality bonds, fixed income, debt of corporations, right? So that tends to be the two main building blocks, high level, for any retirement account. And that's going to determine the better part of half of your returns. Now, within side of that, in the stock side, you can be looking at small cap stocks and foreign stocks, but your asset allocation is really the biggest piece of that. And it's important to remember that the price of the higher returns that the stock market has historically done, the price of that, the cost of that is volatility, right? The ups and downs of the stock market. But if you look at the stock market over a longer period of time, a lot of that volatility tends to buffer out. And that's also why a lot of people have high quality short bonds. And when I say short, I mean like bonds that are maturing in 2, 3, 4 years, things like that. High credit quality companies, strong balance sheets. So the asset allocation is really the majority and the majority of the return. So how do you do that? How do you get the asset allocation right? I mean, the wallet test, the factor of 3, the wallet test really comes down to asset allocation and making sure your asset allocation is right for you. And two people that are 60 years old and have similar financial backgrounds could have very different asset allocations depending on who they are as human beings, depending on their comfort with risk and volatility. And that's why I think it's so important that you work with a professional on this, either an accountant or a fee-only financial advisor. You can find a fee-only financial advisor just by Googling that term. Admittedly, I'm biased. I'm a fee-only financial advisor, but it's so important. As I said, it dictates the vast majority of your returns in your retirement accounts. So factor number 1 is your wallet. Okay, factor number 2 is your heart. And your heart has 2 different pieces to it. The first piece of it is your health, right? Doing what you can to stay healthy, both physically and mentally. Let's talk about the physical side of things, right? We all can do what we can do, and I encourage you to invest that time, invest that effort in your health, and do what you can to stay as healthy as you can. Because once your health is gone, there's a lot of fun things that you won't be able to do anymore, right? So some of this is out of our control, but some of it is in our control, right? So try to work out, talk to your doctor, make sure it's okay. But try to work out as frequently as you can without overdoing it, obviously. And then from the other part of health, is your mental health, right? Try to do what you can to stay happy and optimistic. And I know that's easier said than done. I know that there's plenty of people that are suffering with some mental health challenges. And so you just do what you can, right? But invest in that as well. I try to constantly be thinking and feeding myself positive message, positive podcasts, positive books, positive thinking. But I know it's easier for some people than for other people. but invest in professional help if that's going to help you, right? Because nobody wants to live a long time if they're not happy, right? So your heart is for your health, and your heart is also for relationships. You know, your heart for your family, your heart for your friends. So think about what those relationships are going to be for you in retirement, and they're going to change, because some of our best friends typically are at work, but we have so much in common with the people that we're working with, right? And for many of us, we spend as many waking hours with our work colleagues as we do with our family. And I know that sounds bad, but I think that's reality for a lot of people. But once you leave work, you're going to lose a lot of those pieces, these points of commonality. So just think about, what are you going to do to keep those relationships strong outside of work? Build new ones, try to maintain the old ones that you can, but just have strong relationships in your life. Studies have shown that that's one of the biggest factors of the happiness in retirement. Okay, so we talked about wallet, we talked about heart. Now I want to talk about head. You know, now I want to talk about your purpose and your identity, right? Just how you're thinking about life, and what's important to you, and what gets you excited to get out of bed, right? I mean, sometimes there were projects at work that you're like, wow, this is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to this. Maybe you had an overseas trip and that wasn't a normal thing for you, so you were looking forward to that. Or there was a challenge that you were close to solving. So what's gonna be the it once you leave and retire? And a really good book to help you think about this is a book called From Strength to Strength by Arthur Brooks. And he really talks about building on your past successes in order to find your next strength, your next passion. So thinking about that, and then thinking about your identity. You know, identity is, who am I, right? Right now, you know, I think I am a financial advisor. I am a husband. I am a father. I am a brother, a sister, a son, not a sister, a son. And thinking through those identities. But you know what? Work is such a big part of many of our identities. So thinking through, you know, I am. And the ultimate goal, of course, is to just be comfortable with the statement, I am. So I hope this video has been helpful. I encourage you to watch this video up here that talks about 8 things to consider giving up to in your 60s to enjoy life more. And this video down here that talks about is a comparison video, and is probably going to show you you're more wealthy than you think. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.